Welcome to my podcast on healing tools. The tool I want to talk about today is the rattle. You might have seen rattles. I have a couple of rattles. One of them was made for my husband and one he made himself. So if you want to make yourself a rattle, it's quite easy. You can buy them on the internet. They vary in price. The one he made, he just got a piece of wood, like a long stick, and he made a little leather top and he filled it up with the things to make it rattle. Now, that's important to think about. Many people put crystals in their rattles, which I think is really fabulous. The one we bought had crystals in it, and you can put crystals and different things in it to make it rattle. You'll have to experiment with that. Then you just tie the top onto the rattle and you're ready to go. The leather ones look really nice. You make like a shape like a ball and people sew them up in quarters. If you look on the internet, there'll be ways to make a rattle. And I think you should seriously think of having a rattle as part of your healing practices. The rattle is shaken, and it's shaken all over the body. It's the same as doing the drum or the bell healing, but it's a little bit different because the rattle, I often shake the rattle right out to the edge of the aura as well. I do that with the drum sometimes. I go right out with the drum, but mostly with the rattle, I'll go all over the place. The reason the rattle works is because you're shaking and making that noise and shaking it and shaking it and shaking it, and it's knocking everything out of the energy grid because we're like a big egg and we have a grid. When we're going up and down and through the aura, we're knocking out with the grid. I actually believe the crystals help as well. I'm not sure how to explain that to you, but I just know they do because there's something about their crystalline energy that you're knocking the crystals through the vibration of the aura. You can start the same as usual if you're comfortable with that. Start up the chakras at the front and the back and the arms and legs, and then do one side and the other. That's a good practice, but also do it intuitively. Now, sometimes you'll find you'll be rattling away in one spot for a while. That's okay. You just get that feeling. The rattle is harder to hear when it's not working, I think. Because I think everything's rattling. It's a little bit harder, but you might be able to detect, just because you're holding it, you might be able to detect that it's not quite right, and you just keep rattling there. And what you're really doing is dislodging. The rattle is really good to dislodge energy, and any energy that's very, very hard to dislodge, because some energies get really stuck. And if you're doing a lot of release work and releasing a lot of things, they can kind of get caught as they're coming out, those little energy blocks you're trying to release, or those sections of energetic things that are stuck. So the rattle's really good to get rid of it. So if you feel like you've been getting stuck, energetically get out the rattle and you can rattle yourself. If you have a rattle with a long handle, you can actually rattle yourself, go up your back to a certain bit and then just rattle down so you're on your own, you can rattle away there. It's very soothing like the drum. It has a different quality to the drum, I feel, and the bell, but it doesn't exclude it from being part of our group because I think it's really powerful. People often use the rattle, and then sometimes they'll actually use the feather at the end to calm it all down, and you might want to explore that too. If you have I've got a big long eagle feather, and you just use the feather and you almost comb the aura afterwards to calm it down. You can do that after your bell healing or drumming healing as well to calm it down. The rattle is noisy, but it's a noise that's actually sound vibration, so it's actually good. I found that when I did the rattle afterwards, I just felt cleaner energetically. I felt like it had cleared off a lot. I felt like I wasn't carrying as much stuff. And I think you will feel the same. You can also rattle other people. Children love the rattle, they run around. And I really think it's interesting that a rattle is given to a small child as a plaything. I find that there must be some correlation, that it must be something they either remember or something that's healing for them to have the rattle. You could use a child's rattle, I suppose. It would be interesting, wouldn't it? But I suggest that you, if you're serious about it, to get yourself one. There's some beautiful ones on the internet. Some people are wonderful craftsmen, people who make beautiful leather ones, and they embed them as well with crystals, and you can do that on the handle. You can gouge out a hole and then put some glue in there and then stick an amethyst or whatever you like. You can make it your own crystal, and some people make a little leather handle almost, that little, like a piece of strap. So when you're holding it, the little strap that's hung onto by the handle holds it in place. Get rattling. It gives another meaning to getting rattled, doesn't it? And I think you'll find that it's really good for your aura, and it's very quick to do. You just can rattle for a little bit and clean things off. It's a really powerful healing. Just because it is so simple doesn't mean it's not really wonderful. And a lot of cultures have used rattles. If you go back, and you'll see them particularly in cultures where they're very earth energy, and they will use the rattle to shift and change and also bring in spirit. So it's an old but a new thing. Rattles make a wonderful healing, so use them and enjoy using them. So I'm sending you lots of love and lots of light.